We are going to talk about these 4 simple words that if you knew to speak them between day 1 and day 2 of the bar exam would make all the difference. Now, this applies whether you're taking a 2-day or 3-day bar exam, however long it might last. It's really important to be mindful of what you say to yourself. This is going to make a difference in how you do on the next day and the day after that. On day 1 of the bar exam, a lot of people go in maybe feeling stress and anxiety, which is normal, okay? Now, if you've done mindset work and you've learned how to handle those voices in your head that are ramping up your emotions, then you're golden. But oftentimes we haven't even looked at mindset for the bar exam, so we have no idea what's going on inside of us when we're feeling that way, right? If anything, what's worse is that you might beat yourself up for feeling anxious or nervous. Don't. It's very simple what's happening. And once you get the hang of deciphering what's going on in your head, what those voices are, and how to handle those voices, then you can actually have great control over your body, your emotions, all the hormones, the adrenaline that's being released. You can have great control over all those physiological responses when you educate yourself about mindset. So what often happens is that after all the anxiety and rush on bar exam day 1, people go to their car or they go to their hotel and they burst into tears. They burst into tears. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. I can't believe it. I did this and I did that. And it's terrible. It's an emotional wreck. Let me explain to you what's going on there and what's going to make the difference. If you can think about the fact that you've just had an adrenaline rush, a high based on anxiety, doesn't it make perfect sense that you would then experience a low once you leave the anxiety-provoking situation? Doesn't that make sense? I think it does, if you think about it, right? When you experience that emotional low, are you allowing it to communicate to your brain that something's wrong? Or are you processing it for what it is? So people who maybe they haven't had this opportunity to be here like you and learn about mindset, they just feel bad and they explain the bad feeling by, oh no, this must mean I have failed. This must mean that I did poorly. And they may have that thought. The difference that I've seen when I've spoken to people who walked out of day 1 and felt like they failed, the difference that I saw that impacted how they did on day 2 and therefore whether or not they passed the bar, huge ramifications here for this one little difference. The difference I found between people who walked out of the bar exam, thought they failed, half of them passed, the other half didn't. The difference was simply one thing that they said to themselves. It was a string of words or a variation of these words. They said, and one person I'll quote, "No matter what happens, I am going to XYZ," right? They took the pressure off of their bar exam performance. They already made up their mind of what was going to happen after this bar exam and the scores came out. And what they decided to do did not hinge on them passing or not. They just already up and made their decision. Whatever happens here today and tomorrow, I'm going to do XYZ after I'm done with this. Period. End of story. And it wasn't even like the most positive of things. I've heard people say, whatever happens after these 2 days, I'm going to just start studying again anyway. And what happens is that they calm down. They calm down because now your life wasn't dependent on your performing during those 8 hours in the day. And so the body was able to relax. The yapping voices in the head went away because you presented with it a solution. You presented to it a solution and it was able to go, oh, okay, no problem, great. And they quieted down. It's so simple. It could almost be called meaningless, but you need to give yourself an out. And if you're on my mailing list, I sent an email to that extent or to that end a few days ago giving you 4 tips, and one of them is you need to give yourself an out. So find yourself something that you can hang your hat on and say, you know what, no matter what happens, this is what it's going to be, right? Find yourself a resolution that takes the burden and the anxiety away from you for bar exam performance. And quite frankly, if you let it be that, then you can walk back into day 2 calm. I know somebody who did this on their lunch break, and they were able to walk in calmly and finish out the exam way more smoothly than how it had started out. It was that whole just conclusive end. No matter what happens, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and that's it, right? No matter what happens, and plug something in there, right? Those are your 4 words. Use that, create your sentence, give yourself that out. Give yourself an out so that your day, your crazy ego voice is not thinking that your entire life hinges on what you do during these 4 hours inside the bar exam hall. Now, if you are approaching your bar exam, first time, second or third time, more time, join our 5-day challenge. Inside that challenge, we're going to help you build a study plan that's based on who you are specifically, so that you can address your mental challenges and strengths. Play to your strengths. You can address your personality and character, your values, and how you carry yourself and how you like to be. A lot of people, the thought of cooping themselves up in a small closet for 8 weeks to study for the bar exam is dreadful, right? Some people, they need that. So we need to figure out, what do you need specifically? And I have assessments laid out that's going to help find out what do you need for your bar exam study, so that you can actually study in a way that keeps you elevated, motivated, energized, that helps with learning, taking the information in and retaining it, and then recalling it when you need. People who have gone through this people who have gone through this challenge have been, 1, blown away, and 2, utterly relieved to learn that they can do bar exam prep in a way that works for them. So we dive deeply into who you are, and then we get to talk in the group. And also I have some bonus opportunities that we'll talk more about when you get into the group. But we do get to talk and help you with your specific challenges when it comes to bar exam prep. I know that getting bar exam prep dialed in takes away 50% of your mindset issues. The rest of the stuff we can dive into later, but that bar exam prep, getting done properly, a lot of people get by just because of that. So if you want to join in, I've already put the link into the description box for this video. Take those 4 words to heart, string that sentence together so you can give yourself an out between day 1 and day 2 of the bar exam. Calm yourself down so you can finish out strong. Bye-bye for now.